Angel Reese acted like a total and complete idiot, and it got called out for it. Over a take foul. Stop it. We all know what's behind this. The sports players, just like any other sport, they're open to criticism.
Trying to debunk her triple-double, trying to debunk Caitlin Clark because Angel Reese lost that damn bad. Like, bro, like, all of this is happening because Angel Reese lost very, very bad, and her fans know the spark, the just infrastructure of the sky is not the same.
People kind of almost treat her like she's a damsel in distress type, but like Caitlin, like you would know this more than me. Like when I watched her play, like she was like the villain. She wanted to be like the shit talker. Like she was a dog. She was gonna be in your face. Like this shit's, you know, everybody remembers Angel for it, but that was, you know, Caitlin was doing it. Wasn't the same way.
Guys, look, Angel Reese supporters are losing cabin pressure as we speak. It is ugly. I mean, ugly. Some of the most vile, hateful things I've ever seen are being said on Twitter X right now.
This was supposed to be just a game, but the second the final buzzer hit, it turned into something else entirely. Caitlin Clark dropped a triple-double like it was light work. Angel Reese, visibly frustrated. The crowd, electrified. But it wasn't. The box score that hijacked the headlines. It was what happened after. Because the next morning, the internet exploded. Not with praise, but with allegations. Accusations of racial abuse. Claims that Clark was being protected while Reese was vilified. And just like that, a basketball game turned into a cultural firestorm.
First of all, it's not a rivalry. Not when you lose about 35 points on opening.
That's true.
It's not rivalry. Indiana Fever's on a different level than the Chicago Sky. Let's get that out the way. Secondly, as much as we love Angel Reese because she is special, she's not Caitlin Clark as a player.
What should have been a highlight reel of Clark's dominance became a lightning rod for racial tension, media bias, and how America talks about black women in sports. Some fans called it fair criticism. Others, straight-up character assassination. People aren't ready to admit this, but the WNBA's biggest rivalry isn't just about points. It's about perception. And if you thought this story peaked with the final whistle, you haven't seen. What's coming next? The WNBA didn't wait. Within hours of the social media uproar, they launched a full investigation under their No Space for Hate initiative. On the surface, it sounded noble, proactive, just. But here's where things get messy. No footage, no audio, no eyewitnesses. And yet, the league moved forward like the accusations were confirmed fact. Was this really about protecting players? Or was it panic? Because let's be real. The WNBA has been dying for headlines, and suddenly, it had one. A perfect storm of race, rivalry, and outrage. But instead of pumping the brakes, they slammed the gas. Now fans are asking the uncomfortable question. Is the W acting out of principle, or just responding to the algorithm? It's one thing to stand against hate. It's another to build an entire investigation off vibes and viral tweets. Especially when some of the loudest voices in the social justice space didn't echo the claims, because even they couldn't find the evidence. And here's the real danger. When you treat baseless accusations like breaking news, you water down the response when real abuse happens. So now the league sits in this awkward space, trying to show accountability, while everyone else wonders if they just got played. Is this justice, or just PR damage control? Because the second a league starts reacting to noise instead of truth, it stops protecting players and starts protecting narratives. Let's talk about timing. Because in sports and in media, timing is everything. The accusations didn't surface after a close game. They came right after Caitlin Clark dropped a historic triple-double on the Chicago Sky, and Angel Reese had one of the worst outings of her professional career. The box score doesn't lie. Clark, 15 points, 13 assists, 10 rebounds, commanding. The floor like a veteran. Reese, benched in the fourth. Body language, off. Frustrated, disengaged, caught on camera rolling her eyes at teammates. And then suddenly, the internet wasn't talking about her performance anymore. They were talking
About a controversy.
a controversy with no footage, no proof, but all the right ingredients to go viral. Coincidence? Maybe. But a lot of fans aren't buying it. Cut to a TikTok. Y'all really gonna tell me the hate started after Clark cooked them? Seems sus. Flash. A Reddit thread. It's giving lose the game, win the internet. Even ESPN commentators looked hesitant, choosing their words very carefully. The vibe? Something's off. This isn't about downplaying serious allegations. It's about noticing patterns. And the pattern here? When the scoreboard didn't favor Angel, the narrative suddenly did. Voiceover. Sometimes, when you're getting outplayed on the hardwood, you pivot, you shift the convo, you spark a headline. So now the question is louder than ever. Was this a cry for justice, or just a distraction play? Because in today's WNBA, losing the game might not mean losing. The spotlight. Let's cut through the noise. Strip away the headlines, the hot takes, and the social media spin. Let's talk basketball. Because what happened on that court wasn't a controversy. It was a clinic. Caitlin Clark, 20 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds. A historic triple-double, not just on paper, but in impact. She controlled the tempo, dissected defensive schemes, and put on a masterclass in vision and patience. She didn't force the game, she read it. Like a seasoned vet, every Indiana possession felt calculated, and Clark was the engine. Whether she was threading dimes through tight lanes or pulling up from deep to silence the crowd, she dictated everything. Meanwhile, Angel Reese was getting exposed. She shot just 4 for 13 from the field. Her usual physicality? Neutralized. Her composure? Cracked. Multiple frustration fouls, missed rotations, and long stretches on the bench during crunch time. But the real story. Aaliyah Boston. 19 points, 13 rebounds, and a defensive statement. Boston bodied Reese in the paint, forcing tough shots, boxing. Out with surgical precision and flat out erasing second-chance opportunities. Chicago tried to run their offense through Reese early, but Indiana adjusted fast, doubling in the post, forcing kickouts, and baiting the sky into bad perimeter looks. And those coaching adjustments? Chef's kiss. Indiana's defense collapsed. Smartly on drives, closed out on weak shooters, and trapped Reese the moment she put the ball on the floor. The sky had no answer, no rhythm, no leadership. Cut to side-by-side stats. Reese, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 4 fouls. Clark, 20-10-10, plus 18 plus. Boston, 19 points, 13 rebounds, 2 blocks. Now splice in some commentary clips. Clark's composure is what separates her. She's already reading defenses like a 5-year vet. Indiana's game plan was simple. Take away Reese and force the rest of the sky to beat you. It worked to perfection. Slow-mo replay. Reese getting swarmed in the paint. Fast break highlight. Clark zipping a no-look pass for a corner 3. Overlay. Domination in real time. Voiceover. The truth? The only thing that got bullied that night was the Chicago Sky's game plan. This wasn't just a win for Indiana. It was a statement. So while the world argued over what may or may not have been said, Caitlin Clark just let her game do the talking, and the scoreboard and the stat sheet backed her up. Because when you're that good, the real story isn't in the drama. It's in the domination. And then came the foul, the moment that set the internet on fire. Fourth quarter. Caitlin Clark, trying to stop a fast break, reaches in for a textbook take foul on Angel Reese. A little hard. Yeah, but dirty. Come on. That's standard across the league. Smart, strategic, and usually a play-on moment. But this time, it wasn't. Angel didn't just absorb the contact. She reacted, charged at Clark, got in her face, yelled, escalated. Suddenly it wasn't basketball anymore. It was theater. And while Reese played to the crowd, Caitlin Clark just walked away. Calm, ice cold, didn't flinch, didn't bark back. Because when you're already winning the game, you don't need to win the argument. Still, the refs blew the whistle. Flagrant 1 on Clark. Flagrant? For a foul that happens 10 times a game? But wait, it gets better. Aaliyah Boston steps in to protect her teammate. No shoving, no extra, just doing what every player should do. And somehow she gets the tech. Cut to fan tweet. So let me get this straight. Clark gets a flagrant for a basic take foul. Boston gets a tech for diffusing drama. And Reese gets, what? Applause? Overlay. Slow-mo replay of the foul. Clark reaches in, slight arm contact. Reese spins and stumbles. Then cut to Reese charging at Clark with teammates holding her back. Now replay Clark quietly walking away. No expression. Commentary clip. That wasn't a flagrant. That was a basketball. Play, period. Then throw in the sarcasm. Imagine getting teed up for breaking up drama while the one causing it gets to play the victim. Social media went wild, but not the way you'd expect. Even some Angel Reese fans were like, "This ain't it. We ride for Angel, but come on, that wasn't necessary." Boston deserved a handshake, not a tech. The irony. This moment was supposed to rally the sky, but instead it highlighted the growing contrast. One team locked in, one team losing the plot. Voiceover. This wasn't just about a foul, it was about focus. Clark never lost hers. Reese. She let the moment consume her. And that's how the narrative flipped. Not because of what was said or even what was done, but because of how everyone reacted. In a league that's building its brand on toughness, sisterhood, and integrity. This wasn't just a take foul, it was a takeover. At some point, the scoreboard stops lying. You can't finesse 4 for 13 shooting. You can't meme your way out of a blowout. And when the buzzer sounds, only one number really matters. The W. But in today's sports culture, the game doesn't end at the final whistle. It spills onto timelines, into group chats, and across algorithm-fueled echo chambers. And that's exactly where Angel Reese found her opening. When she couldn't control the game, she tried to control the narrative. Instead of headlines about Caitlin Clark's historic triple-double, the discourse spiraled into chaos. Discrimination accusations, WNBA investigations, and Twitter think pieces. It felt less like a post-game and more like a PR war zone. And here's the hard truth. When you spark a national controversy with 0 receipts, you're not just shifting attention. You're setting a dangerous precedent. In a league already fighting for legitimacy and airtime, injecting drama without facts risks turning real issues into punchlines. That's when the takes got nuclear. Enter Dave Portnoy, a walking lightning. Rod, who said the quiet part out loud. Caitlin Clark looks like the MVP. Angel Reese looks like a fool. Comment your thoughts.